Welcome to the Kizito Traditional Center. It's been a while. Today, we're talking about a tree we natively call Omusenene, which in English is known as Podocarpus. Omusenene, because of its strange leaf formation, in resemblance, it looks like that of grasshoppers. That's why in Africa, in Uganda, we call it Omusenene in correlation to the grasshoppers. Traditionally, the tree is used in treatment of wounds that are inside the body and that are as well outside the body. Wounds such as ulcers, which manifest themselves inside the body, and things like rashes, body rashes, such as scabies. What is also interesting, because of these little yellow flowers that look pretty, the same tree here in Africa, we use it in treatment of yellow fever. And yellow fever in Africa, in Uganda, is known as kamuli, to mean the little flowers. So you can see the correlation between the yellow flowers and the same tree, the flowers, being used in treatment of yellow fever. When it comes to treatment of wounds that are inside the body and outside the bodies, remember we talked about the ulcers, we talked about the scabies, and we've also talked about yellow fever. What you must remember, because this tree has got white sap, what they normally do when it's going to be applied in Africa, they usually overboil it in order to reduce on the toxicity of the sap, or even to reduce on the strength of the sap. So it is overboiled, and what happens, that brew, once it's been harvested, they either drink it to cure the inside wounds such as ulcers, or apply it directly onto where the wounds or rashes are. Or alternatively, a person could bathe it in case the rashes or wounds are all over the body. Secondly, this tree is known as the bulletproof tree because the tree traps that lightning. You know that lightning we talked about the rubber plant that traps the lightning energy. So what happens when that lightning energy goes into the ground is this Podocarpus, the Omusenene, that filters that energy, the lightning energy, and converts that energy into oxygen and nitrogen. The same tree is a good carbon sink because what happens, because of its leaf formation, it usually traps the carbon dioxide and also converts that carbon dioxide into oxygen. The Podocarpus, the same tree, the Africans in Uganda we call Omusenene, is also a filterer of bad energy. But there is bad energy in space, and there is also bad energy in the ground. So what this tree does, it traps that bad energy, it cleanses that bad energy, and then it releases renewed good energy into the ambience. So that bad energy is as a result of planetary activity. You must bear in mind that there are stars such as the sun. While we are enjoying that sunlight, there's also a process of combustion taking place. So when combustion is taking place, there is also an inducement of bad energy that is released into the atmosphere. So the Podocarpus, what it does, it filters out that bad energy from other planets such as the sun, and also filters out bad energy also from our planet, which is as a result of natural activity. You must bear in mind that as humans, we have to cook. As humans, we have to transport ourselves from one point to another. So all that activity the result of which ends up releasing bad energy into the atmosphere. So that accumulated bad energy, that's where the podocarpus comes into play, whereby it filters that bad energy, then it releases renewed good energy. Bad energy is also accumulated through the ongoings of the spiritual world. That's a kind of a diverse subject. But the podocarpus, because of its magneto effect, it also traps that bad energy from the activities of the spiritual world, or for some of you, the scientists maybe call it the celestial world. So it filters that energy as well, and it releases out a more cleansed form of energy, which is very vital and necessary in our survival. So you can see how the podocarpus, the omsenene, is very vital in our existence, because it is a producer of nitrogen, and you know how nitrogen is important in soil fertility. It is a producer of oxygen. You know how oxygen is very important for our survival. It's a filterer of bad energy. You know how a clean ambience is very necessary in our survival, and as such it's called the bulletproof tree, because it's a provider of good energy. You remember when we talked about the rubber tree, which works as a lightning conductor. You know how severe lightning can be when it strikes. Usually buildings go down. So with the rubber tree, that rubber tree provides safeguards. And you remember when we talked about the attack magneto tree, that tree also provides safeguards and also works as a bait against bad earthquake energy. Now we are also talking about the podocarpus, known as omsenene, which also works as a filterer of bad energy. So you can see how important each natural tree, because it has a specific purpose to provide a balanced ecosystem. So it will be very important to help us, we members, the protectors of natural forests. It will be very important to provide us with all the necessary help, or be it financial or be it what, so that we can preserve these natural forests.